BLAPCHAT. That's loud. BLAPCHAT. Ooh, I like that.
That was
you
like
cool.
that? Wow.
That's new.
That's a new one. I just flipped it.
Where's Earl? You bring Earl?
Hello.
No, Earl's a creep. We'll get rid of him. Nope. No Earl today.
Hey,
sorry.
Hey,
Welcome.
ladies.
Welcome to BLAPCHAT. This is
man.
Damn, this is episode
79.
79.
Nice.
We've been in the like you were saying earlier.
Been
Perfection.
in the 70s for a minute, man.
We've been in the 70s for a good 2 months, I
Yeah.
think. More than that. Yeah, this is BLAPCHAT. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. Crazy.
Summertime.
I'm kind of over summer.
Oh, me
Yeah,
too, dude.
I'm like,
I just can't.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I like the jacket, hoodie, vibe.
That's what I'm waiting for, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of just t-shirts. Like, see, women could kind of stunt in the summertime, like clothing wise. But men, what are we we're wearing shorts and
But
t-shirts.
I think there's definitely flyer, for me at least, flyer like leggings and cool
That's true.
pants than there are like shorts and,
That's true.
and
true.
jackets. Like jackets, you could get fur, you can get leather, you can get jean,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
can get fancy.
That's very true.
Summer is very like, gotta wear something quick because it's hot and you're gonna sweat.
That's true.
And, like,
That's true. Well, anyway, fuck summer. We're over it. I'm ready for back to school, fall, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, welcome to BLAPCHAT, episode 79. Shout to all the producers out there, all the music makers, the singers, the songwriters. Fuck you to the rappers. I'm just kidding. Shout to all the rappers too. This is an all music production podcast, So we're here, episode 79. I go by the name of Illmind. Here are my co-hosts. I'll let them do their things.
your girl, Perfection.
You already know.
Hey.
That loud ass horn. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Who that?
Yo. What's up, Atlas the Plug? What's goody?
It's your boy.
Atlas the Plug.
I'm here.
Shout to Glam, good lyrics and music. She's not here today, believe me, she's here in spirit.
That's right.
Got my organic drink. You feel me?
What is that?
Green
You know what I'm
juice.
saying?
What you got in
I don't
there?
know. There's a cafe next door, so I just copped it. I don't
You
know.
got
I don't know if this
cucumbers,
stuff helps.
celery.
There's a bunch of green shit in there. But anyway, we're here. Yeah, man. Damn, there's a lot of stuff going on. I did a Q&A on Twitter, so there's some of our fans have a bunch of questions for us.
Sweet.
And I was skimming through it earlier, and there's some like really interesting shit, like stuff that we have never covered here before. And so this first, I want to go through some of these questions. And guys, if you're on Twitter, add us at BLAPCHAT, BLAPCHAT. And again, shout to all our subscribers, all of our followers,
Word.
all you guys from day one, like the OG day one guys, and then some of you guys that have come in a little more recently. Like, definitely go back and listen to all of our past shows. I feel like there's like a lot of gems from the older shows, like that people are kind of low key sleeping on.
Yep.
Like, go back and listen to that Cardo Got Wings episode. This was right after Views.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Cardo obviously has had a crazy run after that as well. So that's like one of my favorites. What else? The Ryan Leslie episode is a favorite.
Yep.
Gems, man.
Brian Michael Cox was
Brian
amazing.
Michael Cox was insane.
Yep. I like Combat Jack episode.
Combat Jack,
Combat
of
Jack.
course.
Rest
in peace to Reg.
But I have to say, I think our last episode with Lamont was,
Yes.
Yeah.
as far as like music publishing and just digging in on that and talking about things that people necessarily don't talk about, was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
that
it was
I
very
think by far
informative.
super in-depth, informative. There you go. That's the word.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
people, you're welcome.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
No one's ever used the word informative. I'm the
Never?
first one. No, never.
First. Wow.
No, it's a first. Lamont came in here and killed it in terms of the publishing, and of all the hours and conversations we've had, like, we've never really talked about that.
Right.
And publishing
It's an
is
important part.
It's so important. It's like pretty much like the main income stream of a music creator, to be honest with you, because it's like long-term money, so shout to Lamont for coming through with that. And if you guys have any other like comments about that stuff, because I think we should definitely like open up the conversation further with that. again, just hit us up on social media, hit our comments on Instagram, hit us on Twitter at BLAPCHAT, and then if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the comment section, SoundCloud, iTunes. Give us your comments, man. Don't be shy. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shy. Say that.
Don't be shy.
It's over 9,000.
Good job.
Be shy.
All right, so there's this question here from one of our fans here, and I love this guy. His name is Francis, and he actually came to my Pass the Aux event in Toronto. So he's asking, what's a mistake you made that turned out to be good for your career in the long run? I think we should all answer that. So, why don't you start that and we'll go down the line.
What's a mistake?
So, what's the mistake that you made that turned out to be a good thing in your career for the long run?
Getting fired from my job, my 9-to-5 job.
Okay, yeah, let's. That deserves that because I know all about that story. Tell them how that went.
I mean, I was working somewhere and bachelor life, over 6 figures a year, chilling, and I got the fucking can, dude.
Yep.
And when it happened, I literally didn't know what I was gonna do with my life. I was like, what do I do? I got rent to pay, I got bills, and it just ended up being in hindsight, ended up being the best thing that could happen to me because that forced me to just go head first into the music game and just figure it out and just figure out ways to generate income and is the best thing that could have happened to me. But at the time, I would have told you it was the worst thing that could have happened to me. The funny thing too is when it happened, my close friends or family, my homies, or even they were like, dude, now you just have more time to really just focus on what you want to do. So I don't recommend anyone out there, you hear all the time, you had a half-assed results if you're not doing it full time, that whole saying. And I do agree with that, but at the same time, you have to be smart about money, because if you have no money, then it's going to be tough to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of figure that part out in the beginning, and eventually you can do the whole music full-time thing. But yeah, dude, that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
I love that one. What's a mistake you made that turned out to be good for your career in the long run? If any. I mean, your name is Perfection.
I was going to say, it's kind of hard.
I don't know. I don't know. I think.
Or do you feel like you haven't
or maybe just a lesson. Maybe a lesson, something that,
I think for me, when I look back at it, it's just how I ended up doing what I'm doing in a sense. I guess maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe it's more so of a decision of dropping out of school. I mean, would people classify that as a mistake?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, dropping out of school.
Yeah.
I dropped out of college, and I'm happy with that decision.
It's so funny because the way the question is worded, it says, what's a mistake you made? But if it turned out to be good, then it wasn't a mistake.
Right. That was
because that's what I'm thinking. I've definitely had a lot of lessons throughout, my experience and journey doing what I'm doing, which ended up being, beneficial in the long run. You learn, but yeah, nothing's really coming to mind. I would classify it more as decisions that I made that people might consider mistakes, or things that maybe weren't the most positive decision to make. But I think we should
swap the word mistake with failure or experience or a lesson, right?
Yeah.
Because a loss is a lesson, right?
Yeah, because I think for me it was just dropping out of school. I was going to college for forensic science, which is so far away from anything I'm doing right now.
You're watching that CSI.
Yeah, I think I was watching too much CSI. I think that was it. And
I mean, after
I still
CSI,
love CSI,
after
Law and
CSI,
Order.
Forensic Science.
Wait, is this the right sound effect for CSI, or am I off? That's Law and Order.
Even Law and Order, I loved all of it. But I think that was just something I was really interested in coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And then going into college, it was just I'm not really a bookworm.
Yeah.
So I started slacking in school. My grades were going down. Then, I failed a couple classes. There was just a lot going on. And I was like, let me take a break.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, actually, I don't want to go back to school.
Fuck that.
And you know how it is. My dad was always like, you have to get a degree. You have to get something. I'm like,
no.
maybe not.
Yeah.
And he was always like, if you don't go to school, la la la. I'm like,
of course,
I am fine.
Yeah.
You were a musician.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
So once he found out like I was serious about it, he was like, oh, okay,
she wants
cool.
to do this.
You know what I mean? But I was like, bro, like I get it, but like there's a lot of people I know that went to college and are like paying the government more than they're like making,
right,
and not even having a job in what they studied, you know. So you know, I applaud everybody that graduated college and high school. I mean, I obviously graduated high school, but yeah, you know, some people might look at it as like, oh, you don't have a degree, but I'm good. It benefited me in the long run because I ended up doing something that I actually enjoy and love and am passionate about versus just doing something that just to say like I graduated. So that's one thing that comes to mind. But
yeah, I mean, it's very similar.
Mistakes.
Yeah, it's not really a mistake. Like that's very similar to, I think a lot of people, even you, at like the fact that you thought it was like something bad, but then it ended up putting you in a position to pursue like what you really want to do, like your like passion, and like and for me it's just like almost the same thing, you know. Like I didn't go to school. I like went to college for a little bit and I dropped out, and then I was just pursuing music. But I would say that one thing that I did that I thought was a mistake and a failure, but ended up actually becoming like a good thing, was signing a bad publishing deal. Speaking of publishing, so I signed a publishing deal that, you know, I should have hired an attorney, and I didn't. You know, like all the shit that I talk about, like hire an attorney and like don't sign contracts without like having someone review and all that stuff. Like I have firsthand experience in fucking that up, and so I signed a really it wasn't really bad, but it was a publishing deal that I shouldn't have signed without an attorney to negotiate, and I just signed it for the bag, and I was stuck in it for a while, and but that led to me having the attorney that I have now and the manager that I have now, who both really helped to get me out of it some years ago, and now I'm in like the best position ever because they're amazing. And funny enough, the catalog that that owned my publishing, the older publishing company, got bought out by the current publishing company I'm signed to. So I reabsorbed my old publishing, and now I own it again.
Amazing.
So it all ended up like working out, you know what I mean? So, but would I change that? No, I definitely wouldn't. Like if I were to go back and try to change history, I wouldn't have, because then I probably wouldn't.
It would be a different
it'd be a different trajectory for me, you know what I mean? So yeah, like everything, stuff that's meant to be is like meant to be, man. Like this shit is just the truth. All right, so here's another question. I really like this one. Is it possible for producers who aren't living in the United States to get placements? Not major placement, just your typical up and coming rapper. I just want to start building relationships. I mean, and this is from I can't even say his name. I'm sorry. It's Aviwe Sikeli. Sorry if I butchered that, but that's his Twitter name on Twitter. So I feel like he just answered his question.
I mean, come on.
Like,
I mean, realistically though, that's kind of a silly question. You know what I mean? No disrespect to homeboy or homegirl, whoever that is, but like, come on, can you get placements if you're not in America? Of course you can. Yeah, I mean, there's producers all over the world that get placements.
Is that
France
his,
and
like,
Paris.
producer name?
I don't think so. But his name, it says Pusha T and Biscuits. I don't know.
I think first and foremost he needs to change his name
Yeah.
and make it sound like
Yeah.
you know, something that's easier to pronounce.
Yep.
Because that might turn people away.
Yep.
As a producer, you know, you want to have a name that people can remember and that it's quick to read, it's easy, they see it, you know, not something they move past. That's
actually a game changer.
Yeah, that's just something completely, you know, aside from the question. But yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I think, you know, what kind of artists are you going for? Because there are a lot of artists overseas that are great. Like Sam Smith started from somewhere. You know, Adele started from somewhere, and they're like huge. They're bigger than some artists in the U.S. You know, bigger than your up and coming rappers. So I think look for the up and coming artists in your city and start there.
And then you have producers that are not from America, like M Phases from Australia. You have my guys Q Beats, who are in Europe. And then you have my man OZ, who's also in Europe. Like, and there's so many producers out there getting it, you know, popping, like with the local shit, but then also crossing over to the States too. So there's no excuse. Like, you can be anywhere.
Traveling, you know, travel to the States or see what relevant events are going on in your city. You know, that can have a correlation. You know, and online, like, you know, Menace, right? He's
Menace
from
too.
Overseas, and he posted his beat online, and you know, designer found it. So just getting creative like that, especially with social media.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're looking to get a New York rapper, I'm just saying like a Dave East or a Joey Badass or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you could still get them if you're from another country, but yeah, if you're here and you live in New York, it's probably easier.
Yeah,
but
you know
find
what I'm saying?
People who they
locally
work with.
Exactly.
Or find people who, you know, like you're not gonna email Davies. You're probably gonna email his homeboy or whoever. So find out who these people are affiliated with and start emailing them, because there are some people that randomly scroll through their emails and you don't know if you would be that lucky pick.
Yeah. Right. You know what the issue is that I'm seeing, and it's all these questions are relevant, and it always comes down to this. People are just impatient. They feel like, okay, I'm this new producer and I want to like break in. A lot of these questions are about like getting placements, right? I want to break into the industry and get placements on like big albums and stuff. But I think the thing that's missing is the fact that like you can't necessarily skip steps, right? Like there's no like point of entry that you could just inquire and then be like, okay, I'm on this album now. It is all relationship based, but you have to, the best way to me is to pay your dues and be patient enough to pay your dues and build up your notoriety and your resume first, slowly, with local people and just like little things here and there to get people to get hype on wanting to work with you. Like that's the best point of entry for me as a producer, is you want them to want to work with you, you know? And again, dude, I use myself as an example all the time. Like I put 10 plus years into getting the right people to want to work with me because of what I already did. You know what I mean? Like there's no way I would have gotten on the Black Panther album if Soundwave didn't want to work with me, or if Ali and Brocky and Dahi and, you know, all those guys, Punch, like if they didn't fuck with my music, then I don't know if they would want to give me the green light to get Illmind on this project to work with Soundwave, you know? Same thing with getting with Drake, like Boy Wonder wanting to work with me, and then getting to know Mr. Morgan and all these guys, and those guys like being fans of mine were because of the stuff I did in the past, which took 6 to 10 years to build, you know? So it that's just the way that it is. And the only other scenario to that would be, and speaking of Soundwave, I'll use him as an example, Soundwave and Kendrick. Like Soundwave was there from day one. When Kendrick was a nobody, when he was K-Dot, and Soundwave was making beats for him, Soundwave wasn't thinking about working with Jay-Z. I'm sure he wanted to in the mid 2000s, but he was like, you know what? I'm an upcoming producer. I got this artist K-Dot. We got this TDE thing going. Like I'm just gonna stick with them and build with them, and hopefully we blow up. And they did. You know? Look at 40 and Drake. When 40 and Drake started working together, I'm gonna assume that was like the 2000s. Who was hot in the 2000s? It was Jay-Z. It was 50 Cent. It was Eminem. It was, you know, this person. 40 wasn't thinking about trying to get a major placement. Maybe he was, I don't know, but he was focused on Drake, his artist. So there's 2 points of entry. You either blow up with an artist as a producer, or you build up your brand and, you know, work with upcoming artists as well to build up for the future. So that whoever's hot in the future, whether it's 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, will go back and say, yo, I fuck with them because of the work they put in, and I'm a fan of this song that they did and this song that they did, and now you're at that point where you have a point of entry. So it's either or. It's either you blow up with the artist that you fuck with, or you fuck with multiple people, build, and then over time, the artists are familiar with your name enough to want to work with you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%.
I don't see any other scenario.
100%. I mean, you know, you hit you hit the nail on the head, because what do we hear from producers like that guy who's like, oh, I'm here in this country, and like no one does music here. I'm from a small town of like 10 people. You always hear stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's exactly it. You either have to find artists to work with, however way you can, and if you can't find artists, then you should be networking where you're finding other producers and other musicians at least to work with.
And I think traveling.
Yeah.
Travel.
Yep.
Travel is key. I'm not going to front. Traveling is definitely.
And also, too, knowing when to ask for stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Perfection, I want to ask you. So, like, from like all these years working at Engine Room, you have like a pretty good Rolodex of people certain relationships. Some people call on you for certain things. But for you, seeing that like a good amount of people like around, how often do you like pull your favorite card for certain people? Like, you call people, and it's okay if you like rarely do it or never do it, because I'm guilty of like usually never doing it. But do you like do you ask people for favors often in certain scenarios?
Yeah, it depends who it is and how big the favor.
Right.
I think that matters. If I'm asking you for like a little like quickie, it's like, yo, like if you're the homie, it should be whatever.
Yeah.
If I'm asking for a big favor, I kind of tend to like I recently asked Angela to interview somebody on the Breakfast Club, and she did it.
She did it.
Yeah. And that's like a pretty big.
That's
I think
a big
that's
deal.
A big deal, right?
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't have to say who.
I was
you can tell me later.
I was kind of like, yo.
Yeah, you did it.
They're fire, and she was like, I got you next week.
See?
They ended up having to reschedule because like scheduling conflicts, but they ended up doing it.
Right.
So it was like stuff like that I rarely do, because it's like you don't want to constantly ask, no matter how cool you are. Even like with Angela, for example, I still respect her to a certain level. Yeah. So I never want to be that annoying person that's like, oh, just because we're super cool, like let me ask for something every day.
Yeah.
Because you end up like wearing out your favors after a while, so you gotta like be conscious of like how big the favor and how often, but I more so nowadays, because I'm like, man, listen, there's certain people I'm like, we've been working together for years. I shouldn't be scared to be like, kind of like what Wayno was saying on his episode, where it's like, when you're around people that you really, really fuck with, like your team, like you're going to hold each other down. So there's, certain people that I know can call me and I'm like, I got you. Yeah. Or I could call them and it's like, I got you, because we built that. But, that's what I think it is. I think it's all a matter of like how big the favor and how often you're asking. Yeah. And where the relationship
also,
is.
Yeah, where the relationship is. And also, too, like, how much have you contributed already to be able to afford the ask?
Exactly.
I have a magic number in my mind. You know what it is?
What?
5 favors or 2 years.
You mean?
So like if I do 5 things for someone and they're pretty relevant to really helping that person, or I'm helping that person for more than 2 years, I'm allowed to ask for a big favor.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
For sure.
5-2.
And I think what you said is also what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Like if I know that I've done a lot for somebody, I'm gonna be like, yo,
what's good?
You can't tell me no.
Yeah, I need you.
Up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also too, like when you do good things for a certain person, they're waiting for you to ask them. They're like they're waiting for you to like ask them to do something for you,
because they want to help.
Yeah, they want to, but they're not gonna be like, hey, most people are just like straight like whatever. But like if you get to that point, it's like I feel like you'll know. Like if you know the person, you'll know. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pull this card and see how it goes. But yeah, I think like for me at least, like there was a time where I was struggling with like asking anything from anyone, because I just got so used to doing it on my own, do it on my own, and it worked to a certain extent. But now I'm beginning to like understand, like, okay, well, there's certain people I could hit up and like they'll probably fuck with me, but I just, in my mind, I don't know that yet, you know. So it's kind of crazy. 5'2".
5'2".
That's the magic number, you know.
Ratio.
Hey, you know, I mean, you know, for me, what was the question about? It was about asking about.
Yeah, like
things?
asking.
I'm just a different kind of breed. Me,
you go
like,
in, huh?
I you know how I am, though. Like,
yeah.
I have no, you know, to an extent.
Is there a way to relate that to sales?
Well, that's
Okay.
kind of what I'm getting at, like the whole shoot your shot thing. Like, I get that whole thing. I mean, my friends who know me know that I'm like super go-getter, like. Yeah. Perfection, you know, I always have like ideas, and like, you know, it was funny. I was at Engine Room the other day, and I was with A King at Loudspeaker, and I was kicking it to A King. I'm like, hey King, I got an idea, you know, and I'm running my thing by him, and Perfection was in the room, and she goes,
I'm like, Atlas always got the ideas.
Yeah, always got the ideas.
She was like, it goes, At always got the ideas. So like, I'm really all about, you know, if I don't do it, I'm gonna regret the fact that I didn't at least try or ask. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I come from. It took me a while to kind of get to that point, you know. But I'm really at the point now where I really have no problem.
Just go for it.
I mean, I will cold call somebody. Yeah. You know, if I don't know them, but I feel like I can convince them that I'm my worth or my value, or it'll make sense for, as long as it makes sense for, see, that's the thing, it's got to make sense for both parties. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to call asking for something that's like only going to benefit me. Yeah, true. I got to figure out an angle that's going to benefit all parties involved. Yeah. You know, and that can be tricky, but when you start really being creative, and one way to do that is the barter system. I'm really big on the barter system. Like, what do I have? Okay, I have, you know, we have BLAPCHAT. I have, you know, like Big Thread. I have relationships with venues and studios. So like, you know, hey, I'm going to ask you for this, but hey, next time you want to do your event, do it at one of my venues. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be creative. Barter. And if you could start bartering and start using, like, what do you have? Maybe it's your camera. Yeah. Your video camera that's sitting in your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't know. It could be your drum set or something. Like, you just have to look around and just be creative. Like, okay, what do I have? What resources do I have? Whether it's something physical or in my phone.
Or something that I'm able to do.
Or something that I'm able to do. Exactly. That I can use to benefit my career. You know? And that's really, if you can start looking at it like that, then you'll start, like, being able to, like, all right, more confident as far as asking for something, because you're doing your homework and you're asking in a smarter way. You know what I'm saying? You're not just calling and begging for something.
You're utilizing the barter system. Yeah. Which I love the barter, because the whole lifeblood, the way the music industry works is all barter, and it's all money. Like, if you have bread, you can buy your way into certain things, but everything else is barter. You know? Like, I'll take, like, Josh, for example, right? Like, Josh has been working with us for how long? How long, Josh? Like a couple years? 2 years? 2016. Yeah, so it's two and change. And, you know, Josh brings immense amount of value to every situation. I don't mean to, you know, ride you or anything, Josh. Pause. We were wearing that duck shirt, so I shouldn't have said that. But, you know, you bring value, like real value. You got the video stuff. You do this. You can sing. You can write. You can make beats. You do that. You know what I mean? You're reliable, stuff like that. So it's like, if you were to ask me to do you a favor, pause, as long as it wasn't anything inappropriate. Josh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
just
dude.
digging yourself.
I'm sorry.
Oh man.
As long as you don't ask me to do anything inappropriate, like there's a 99.999% chance I'll do it for you. You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm talking about too. Like, in addition to the barter system, it's like when you create this like position for yourself where you're valuable in a lot of scenarios, you have a lot more leverage to be able to like maneuver and start like evening out the you know what I mean, the pot a little bit. So like, when I think about musicians and stuff, it's like, there's rappers that hit me up all the time. I'm sure you guys too, like, yo, what's good, like, let's work, you know, and the only real leverage that they use is I could rap, or I'm about to sign a deal, or yo, I got some bread, you know what I mean? And it's tough for a rapper, right? So I mean, in your opinion, at like having like a sales background, like if you were a rapper, and you really just wanted, you're like really talented though, like you really could spit, and you're like really, you can sing, you're like really talented, but you need beats. Like, how would you go about maneuvering with trying to acquire music? Would you pay people out? Would you barter? Would you do both? Like, what would your approach be?
The first thing I would do is try to make the beat myself. I'll be honest. That's what I would try and do. I'd try to get the software. Like, what are they using? Like, what? How does this work? YouTube, Gmail, Google, YouTube. Let me try and figure this shit out. That would be my first step. Then if that didn't work out, I'd be like, okay, where can I go find producers? Like, where can I go find these people? I'd go to shows. I go to venues. I go to rap shows. I go to producer showcases. I'd go to studios, radio stations, wherever I could to find people that actually do. I'll go to school for it. You know what I mean? So I'd go to wherever I can find people that do that. I'd perform. Right. Using beats ripped off YouTube just so I could rock, so people could see me spit, so that they want to give me beats. So after my show, to be like, yo, I think your shit's fire. Yo, I produce. No doubt. Yo, let me get your contact. Yo, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't, I'd let the producers come find you as best as you can. I mean, yeah, you want to go out and try to find them, but just, I always think if you're an artist, the best way to get anything from people is to put out music and do shows.
But also just finding your network, like you know, like connecting with your network. Like there might be a friend that already does beats, you know, that he,
or he has a cousin that does beats.
He just doesn't even probably take it serious. He does it for fun,
so
he
connect
doesn't
with someone
really
you
talk
know
about it. You know, that's an option.
That's crazy that every answer involves connecting with other people.
Facts.
I think that's the shit that we're kind of uncovering.
Sometimes you just can't do everything by yourself.
Nah, man.
You can't.
You can't, dude.
I have a buddy of mine who started this podcast, and he was doing like everything by himself, and he's like, yo, what do you think I should do? I was like, you need co-hosts. Like, you need other people on this besides you. It's just you. You're setting up the camera. You're doing this. You're recording yourself. You're editing yourself. You're doing the graphic. You're doing. I'm like, you need some like more personalities on your show. You need to just like, you know what I'm saying? Make it a thing. You know. So yeah, I think finding other people is just who are like you said earlier, and this is super key for everyone listening. You got to be reliable. If you say you're going to be there at 1 p.m., be there at 1 p.m. Don't be there at 3. Don't give me the dealer talk. Yo, I'm on my way. Yo, I'm almost there. Like, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the kind of guy, if it happens the first time, I'm done. Like, I'm not even fucking with you no more.
Facts.
You know, so that's a big thing too, is just be reliable and be, you know, if you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, be there. If you say you're going to do something, do it. You know?
That's facts.
That's because that's going to go back to your reputation, you know, like people
how
like,
reliable
you know, they're going to trust you. You know what I'm saying?
And people talk too. Industry is small.
Facts.
Industry is small. I remember I was in this room with two big artists and this like big A&R and this new producer. At the time, it was a new producer, and they just had gotten a placement on like a huge record. And we were just in the studio together, not with that producer. And the A&R, we're just talking about random stuff, and the A&R was like, "Yeah, what do you think of that producer? Like, are they cool? Are they worth signing?" And then the artist replied like something negative, like, you know, like, nah, not really, because like something about their situation or whatever. And then he was like, all right, fuck it, never mind. And like that decision right there was like crucial, because like if this producer would have signed with that A&R and got into that situation, their life would have changed. But because of a simple moment of someone saying, nah, probably not because of my situation with them in the past, and then deciding not to, and I'm like, holy shit, like this could have been the biggest moment of your life. And because of some negative thing that you may have done in the past, or reputation wise in the past, made that person say no, that door is shut.
Yeah, it's like I have
crazy.
Say it.
Come on, tell that story.
No, it's like I have one of my
We need names, son. No, I'm just kidding.
I have an intern
Don't do
who
that.
is like amazing, and no, because she recently told me she was listening to the.
Okay, word. Okay, so you're amazing.
Yeah,
You were
so I was
talking
like,
about me.
but she's great. And we were talking about something one day. She came across someone's resume because we were talking about someone else, and she thought that was the person. They have like a similar name. So she's like, she went to my school, and I'm like, I think you're talking about a different person. So she looks at the resume. She's like, no. She's like, nah, man. She's like, people from my college, they're just trying to like, try to get their way in. They all used to like make fun of me and like just like try to ask me, you know what I mean? Try to take advantage. She's like, nah, man. She was mad. I was like, yo, you got it.
Right.
If it's a no, it's a no.
If it's
like,
a no, it's a no.
talk to me. What's up?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, nah, man.
And so
like,
you skipped over it.
Yeah, I was just like, just talk to
That's
me.
fire. Give that. That was a good
Like,
move.
nah, man. I was like,
She was worried someone gonna come take her spot.
I was like, either I bring him
him
here and you train him now.
You know what that
Right.
is? You know what that is right there? That's karma.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
either I
karma.
bring him in and you train him now.
Yeah, that's karma.
You know what I mean?
That's
now
karma.
you in control. You train him. Or
Oh,
it's
wait a
dub.
minute. The person's resume was the person that was making fun of her?
Yeah.
From that school.
Oh, fuck
Like,
that. That's dead.
Nah,
Yeah,
she was
that's
just
dead.
like
That's
super
dead.
mad. Like, nah, people from my college just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
trying to like now mess with me just because they see the situation.
Listen,
And
guys,
I was like, yo,
oh
if
my
it's a job,
God.
it's a job. Like,
Karma is real. That's so funny that you
Facts.
mentioned that because I have a similar story. So I don't want to name anyone's name, but this someone that I work with, she hit me up and she was like, I posted a picture on Instagram and I posted a picture on Instagram and it's crazy because after I posted that picture, I started getting DMs of some of my classmates from my high school who used to bully me, and now they want to hit me up and they're asking for stuff and they're giving me props and all that stuff, and that right there like put a smile on my face because I'm like, fuck those bullies. Like karma is very real, right? It's like it goes the positive way and it goes the negative way, you know? So it's like when you think about all the shit we talk about on this podcast and like just in general, like, you know, being good at what you do, being a good person, like that's positive karma.
Oh, yeah.
That shit is positive karma that's gonna just come right back to you. But if you have some like sneaky shit happening, that shit's gonna creep up too and show its face eventually.
Look, I mean, I don't want, you guys will probably know, but even like a certain rapper out there that was putting that bad karma out, and then
I mean, there's
other
multiple
day,
ones, yeah.
The other day,
Right, that thing
it
happened.
almost happened to him.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So like, you got to really be careful.
You gotta be
know what I'm
careful.
saying?
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking that kind of talk. You
And
know?
guys, listen, the production thing, it's not as hard as you think because, like, there's really good karma that's associated with having good beats, and there's also really good karma that comes with like being patient and being a good person and just like working with people. That's all you have to do. Like, those three things are a good start because the karma that's associated with those things is always going to be positive, unless you're a dick.
If you haven't put in at least 5 years, and that's the low scale, at least 5 years, then you shouldn't be stressing. I ain't like, when you start hitting 15, 20 years and then nothing's still happening, then maybe you should reconsider. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But you know, if someone's like, hey, you know, if you get like a 19-year-old like, yeah, I've been doing this for like 2.5, 3 years, it's like, bro, you're a baby, bro. You're a baby. You got time. You know what I mean? So like you said, I think patience is a really key one, because what happens is people get in their own head. You know what I'm saying? And they start getting really negative and really down on themselves, and they think something's wrong, and, why is everybody else, being successful and not me? But that success could be right around the corner. You're just not being patient, and you're not waiting for your turn. Yeah. Your turn is going to come, if you're doing the right things and you're talented and, you're in the right circle. But, like, you can't be negative. And I see that. I see it in artists. I see it in producers, where they're just I can't even be around them.
Yeah,
because that
it's
energy,
hard to be around.
I can't be around them. The energy is like sucks you in, like always complaining, and it's like, oh, it's just always they're broke, and that's like I just can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that and energy and stuff like that, I read this article saying that scientists have discovered that
water on Mars.
Well, no, but
but they found that already.
You read that, right?
I did read that. I also read that Jupiter has more like multiple moons.
Oh yeah,
like they found more moons around Jupiter and shit.
That's crazy.
Which is fucking crazy. And there's like apparently water on those. Wow. But no, the thing that I found was that they've proven that human beings are able to absorb energy from other humans.
I believe it, 100%.
Like literally.
I totally believe it.
The energy that another human being gives off, like we absorb when we interact with them, when we're close with them, when we talk to them, when we're around them enough.
Totally
the energy absorbs.
Totally believe it.
And when you think about all the, like the 48 Laws of Power and like all those like self-help books about like being social and having like people around you, it all starts to make sense. Like 100%. You are the sum total of the 5 closest people around you. Like all of those little like quotes make so much sense because of it.
How do you guys feel about those like people walking around with like little rocks and stuff in their pockets? Stones.
I believe in that shit. It's weird. Yeah. I believe in those stones because when you think about it, there's certain minerals and stones that were formed naturally on the earth like millions and millions of years ago, and those stones were the product of multiple different like scenarios and elements and all this stuff like crashing together, which is like it's all like a domino effect. So a lot of those vibrations still exist in those stones, and some of those stones carry like certain energies that we vibrate on the same frequency on. Because we're from the stars too, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
I could believe
we're literally like stardust. Like all this shit around us is like basically from the Big Bang, basically. Wood, all this shit. You know what I mean? It's all elements.
Yep.
So
I believe that.
I believe in that shit. Those stones, shit is real.
I'm definitely feeling the people you hang out with absorbing the energy.
Yo, it is
true.
facts.
I've seen that. I've felt that.
and they're in little groups too. Like you're right, exactly. Because there's like one who's like the ringleader, and then there's like 2 or 3 following people, like followers that follow that ringleader around with the like.
It's facts,
and they all just have this ball of negative energy floating around them, and I'm just like, I'm good, bro. I'm gonna go this way. Thank you.
Let me tell you guys something, and I want you guys to, kind of talk about like your circles too, like people that you interact with often. But like for me at least, like there is not one person bless you, there is not one person that I interact with that I don't want to interact with.
Facts.
Like I can't name one person, and there were people in the past, but I don't interact with them anymore. And it's so crazy how that directly correlates to like happiness and success.
Facts.
Yeah, I've definitely stopped myself from being around certain people because I'm like, you have not grown, your energy is the same, and I'm good.
I'm good.
Like I'm really good.
I'm good. What about you, Ad?
Yeah, there's a whole crew of guys I grew up with, that I don't even talk to anymore. There's a handful that I'm still best friends with till this day, but like the main crew that I used to hang out with growing up, I don't even talk to any of them anymore. And it was funny because even when I was singing in the R&B group and doing auditions back in those days, like right after high school, like some of them would even make fun of me, like, oh, you're gonna go doing your little singing shit, you do, you know what I mean, like literally making fun of me. And then I was like all right, fuck these guys, you know what I mean? And then I literally, and now those are the same guys that are DMing me because they don't have my number anymore, DMing me like, yo, man, long time, man. Yo, I'm really proud of you. I see you out there. I see you moving, man. Like, I see you out there, man. Yo, we should get, like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
They do the follow unfollow game. You know what I mean? Like,
of course, the follow unfollow game
is so corny.
Guys, we gotta stop. We gotta stop doing that.
So
you know what? I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole concept of like putting yourself first as opposed to putting other people first, and like the difference between like you know, when they compare your life with either being like the ping pong ball or the ping pong paddle, right? You're either the paddle, you're in control, or you're the ball where you just let everyone else around you control you. And so in you guys' opinion, what do you think is most appropriate to reach like ultimate happiness and just feel like you're in control?
I think it's like a balance. A balance of like, I think being in control to where you don't overwhelm yourself. Like, I think it is good to help others. It's good to focus on yourself, but also help and give to others, because that's obviously how you develop certain relationships and, you know, learn and get certain things. But you can't forget about yourself, you know. So if you overextend yourself too much, and I've done this a lot, you know, because I'm a helper, and I'm like, I know how to do it. Let me help you. Let me show you. I can do it easier, you know, quicker, or, you know, let me just help you. And it ends up being you know, kind of overextending yourself. Right. And then when it comes back to you, you don't have nothing to give to yourself.
Right. You feel drained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've learned to kind of like say no more often, or I can't, or control it to where it benefits me, in a sense, like where it's like, okay, I would help you, but I still have to, you know, limiting yourself in a sense. Yeah. You know, like not giving, you know, you can give a finger or two and but not the whole arm kind of thing. Like, I'll help you, but I'm not gonna just. I'm not gonna like deplete my entire energy for you.
I think in the beginning, you have to be the ball in the beginning. Right. You know, like, you got to go through the ropes. You got to learn. Yeah. You have to have a quote unquote mentor, someone who's like, who's doing it, someone you can learn from, you know, like just absorb, ask questions, don't be annoying. You know, you got to be, you know, help. And like you said earlier, like building your value and stuff like that. Like, that's very important, you know. And I think in the beginning, listen, you have guys that are born leaders, and, you know, from the beginning they never followed anybody and they didn't wait for anyone. That's cool too, and if you can do that, kudos to you. But I think more or less people out there, they need to just kind of see it kind of done first from someone who's actually doing it. Take tips, learn, and then eventually you have to be that guy or girl. Right. You know, you have to be the one.
You gotta step up and be the paddle.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta step up and be the paddle, and to the point where you don't wait for anyone. You'll ask. You know what I'm saying? And I'll ask once, maybe one more time, a follow up. But if not, I'm just keeping it moving. You know, so like, I think in the beginning it's a better approach to kind of, you know, it's almost like being an intern, and you're in the beginning in the music industry. You intern, you're the ball. You're just going to the store. You're doing runs. You know, you're being a semi-maintenance person in the friggin' studio. You know, and then finally you get to start watching someone do the sessions, and then you start doing the sessions, and then you start scheduling, and then you're the main engineer in the session. Then you're mixing it. You know what I mean? So I think in the beginning, be the ball at first, but eventually you have to be the paddle.
Yeah. I love that. I wish I had a ping pong sound effect, but I don't. Yeah. Fuck, maybe we do. Nope, that's not
close,
it.
Close.
We'll just do this.
There you go.
Or we'll bring this guy back.
There he is.
Booty loops.
Speaking of booty loops, we should do BLAP or CRAP. Now listen, guys, I know it's been about a month. We haven't done BLAP or CRAP. And I know you guys are a little mad at that. We're kind of mad at it too, because we really want to do it. We just haven't had the proper time during these episodes, but today we do.
Today we got time.
Today we got time.
We got time today.
Today we got time.
We got motherfucking time, cut.
Time today.
You feel me, cut?
Remember that video when the kid's like, when he's like, "Oh, you trying to pull up on me?" That little, you never seen the video?
What? The little kid talking to the other little kid?
Yeah, he's like, "Today I got time."
Yeah.
Oh, I got time, cuz.
Remember that? That's like, I was talking about that the other day. That's that's one of the best videos on the internet. Like, the internet is just,
it's hilarious,
insane.
Man.
The internet has too much shit.
That's the little kid talking to the other little kid? They're like beefing or something?
Let me show you. This is so awesome.
Can you play it on the mic so they can hear it?
Yeah, just so we can hear it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I never seen this. This is classic.
Wait, I think I did.
Because I'm going to keep it G real.
So I'm gonna keep it G real. I don't fuck with you cause you disrespect
Oh,
me.
I saw this.
By telling me, take off my flag, asking how gangster I was, nigga. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. I told you I ain't got time for that, but nigga, today I got time, cuz.
Today I got time, cuz.
cuz.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I definitely watched that video on loop at some point. Watched it. Anyway, so listen up, guys. We doing BLAP or CRAP right now. So this is the segment of our podcast where we listen to your beat submissions, play a little snippet, and then if we like the beat, we give you a BLAP. If we don't, we give you a CRAP, and then we give you a little constructive criticism. And if you want to submit to this segment, all you have to do is go to beatthread.com, beatthread.com. And it's a cool website. It's free to join. It's basically like SoundCloud. You can upload your beats, and there's like rating systems. Like you can rate your drums, melody, mix, arrangement, all that shit. And the highest rated popular tracks float to the top. So it's a cool website that we built, and it's a lot of fun. So go to beatthread.com. If you're not a member, make sure you join up. Again, it's free, and start uploading your beats and start listening to other people's beats too, because then you can get inspiration. You can critique people. You can start, sending each other messages, start linking up with other creatives and stuff like that. So it's a really, really fun website.
It's been a while, man. I need to hear some fucking blaps.
I'm trying to hear some blaps, man. We probably had the last 2 or 3 times we did it was all craps. So you guys gotta start bringing the heat. So let's jump into it. Our first submission for BLAP or CRAP, we're back, is Red Turban. Come on, man. Damn, bro. This can't be real.
What is going on?
Hold on.
What is going on?
This guy lost me.
Yeah, this is a crap.
Lost.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm good. I don't know.
What happened there.
Damn.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
Track? What was that?
Dog. Alice is a no from you, dog.
Oh, 100% brown. That's brown paper bag.
Yeah, facts. I was just thinking that. Like, is that a brown paper bag? That just might be.
Brown paper bag.
That whole intro was just not it.
We just started this shit off with a brown paper bag.
Jesus.
Fuck. All right. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our next submission is by Dead CVPRI. I don't know how to say that, so apologies. All the way from London. Yeah.
The chops were definitely not clean in that. Like
Yeah,
even when it dropped, it was just kind of all over the place.
Okay,
that's
so
a
what
crap.
say you?
I'm gonna crap that.
Like, it had a certain little cool, like, head nod groove, but there was certain parts where things cut off where, to me, it didn't make
The
sense.
sequence
and
was
then
weird,
the
right?
beginning was just off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. With beats like this, sometimes I, like, envision their arrangement window and just wonder, like,
Which
Wherever
part of
it
the
is.
joint in?
It's
Yeah.
like a little all over the place. All right. I guess we had unanimous craps on that one. All right. Our next submission is by Long. Hey. Yeah. Definitely struggle bars. Oh God.
These weird drops.
It's just sometimes people just do too much, man.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I mean.
it's like overcomplicating it.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened? Okay.
Yeah, that was also all over the place.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It sound like two different beats.
It sounded like
Yeah,
two different
it
beats.
transitioned to a whole different thing.
Super
Yeah.
safe too.
You think? Yeah.
Like that chord, like those chords and stuff. It just sounded very like.
That snare, like it wasn't a bad snare, but it just I didn't like the.
It wasn't whack as fuck.
I definitely
wasn't
liked it
whack,
better than
it
the
was
first
just-
two. That's for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't whack. It just I don't know. I guess I wanted something with a little more.
It's too safe for me. I don't know. It's just
Oh.
like I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't all the way there. I kind of liked where the beginning was, like where it was going.
Yeah,
But then the switch up just threw me off.
yeah. I like the first part of it definitely better than the second.
It sounded like some Adult Swim shit, like that whole type thing. But nope, crap. Sorry, buddy. Come on, guys. You guys gotta bring the heat, man. Our next submission is by Adrian Lawrence. Here we go. Australia. Intro's too long.
Nah.
Where's
this
the
ain't it.
drop, my
This ain't
guy?
it. This ain't it.
Oh man,
This is not it.
damn. I'm gonna add drums. Hold on. Whoa.
Too late, bro.
Wow.
Should have started with that.
All right.
Alright.
Jeez.
Intro was way too long. How when did that?
Yeah, nah.
Came in
It
a
came
minute,
in
like-
after a minute.
Yeah, just unless you're trying to get like scored or like just
Yeah,
some
movie shit.
really background music on a show or something.
Just put me to sleep.
Alright, so that's a no from us, dog. Black.
No, it's a crap.
That's
Definitely
a
crap.
That's a no from us, dog. Damn, sorry, bro. I mean, yeah, cut that intro.
Yeah,
bring
intro
the
was
drums
way too
earlier.
long.
Yeah, bring the drums in like
Yeah,
super.
just
early.
wasn't it. All right. Next submission is by the 44-34 Connection. A lot of somber beats today.
I could hear this at like a shoe store.
Yeah.
Like you're
Trying my
shopping at a
shoes on.
shoe store, trying on shoes. Like
Or you're like going shopping with
Steve
your mom.
Madden or
You're going shopping
something.
with your mom and you're just waiting for her. It's like,
I picture like Steve Madden.
yeah. You're in the corner, like falling asleep, like.
Are there
Because you're
vocals
at the
playing in
mall with your
background?
mom and your phone died, so you don't have a phone, so you're staring at
That
people.
used to be the worst. You're just like, oh, when are we
Hey.
leaving?
Hey, at least they painted a picture.
Yeah.
But it's a no from me, dog.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I mean, for licensing, it was cool,
Maybe
but I mean,
licensing.
I'm not gonna bump that or listen to that, so I'm gonna crap that one.
Yeah.
It didn't really work.
Perfection. I guess we already know your
It was
answer.
too, like you said, very like.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was better than all the other ones we
Yeah,
listened to.
definitely.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
for licensing, definitely.
Mhm.
It wasn't anything that, took me
Yeah.
over the
It actually felt like I was in a spa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm about to choose like what kind of massage I want.
Yeah.
You know, like should I go with the deep tissue or should we go Thai today? What are we
Hot
doing?
stones or-
Hot stones or no hot stones? Hot tub or sauna? I don't know.
Facts.
Anyway, all right. Our next submission is by Dap Cairo. Here we go.
This is definitely.
Nah, give it a chance. Yeah, at least there's some technique in this.
Yeah, it's better than the other one.
Oh, I don't like that high string. It's making me feel weird.
Sounds very muddy though.
Yeah.
And distorted. And mixed.
Just sounds like a lot of random shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that little wow, wow. I don't know, like when I hear beats, I picture like a painting or a drawing or like colors, and that was like
Everything just
yeah,
all over the place.
Abstract.
that was like I couldn't even put it into words.
It wasn't a bad beat. It was just very distorted and muddy, the mix. And then I think there were a couple elements that you could have like taken out. Like you didn't need. But it was still a crap for me.
Yeah.
But that one and the last one made me move more than any of the other ones we heard today.
Yeah.
True.
I think the track would have been way doper if those like synths weren't in there. Like when the track was playing and when it was like opened up a little bit where you can actually hear the percussion and then you heard that bass on the one. It was like boom. And then it was like, okay. But then all those synths came on top of it. And in the beginning, those like, they weren't synths. They were like, I don't know what sound was that. It was a really weird.
It was like a little. It was like the high pitch one.
Yeah, that high pitch one. You're never gonna get an artist on that track with that.
Yeah.
With that, it just takes up too much space.
Right.
But it had moments. But I'm gonna crap it. But it had a few little cool moments in
I
it.
thought the drum groove was like kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
Other than that.
I liked it. I think if you just let it breathe, the track breathe a little more, it'll just need an artist. So synths with too much.
I agree. All right, our next one is by Rhythm to Groove 2.
Same guy from before, huh?
No.
These are very unique names too.
Yeah, very. This one's a little more organized.
Yeah.
I can see this being like a mixtape song. It just sounds too. It sounds too much like a demo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially that synth.
It's like a demo, like when you like back in the day when there was like keyboards and stuff, and you would hit like the demo button, and this would come on. Like just a demo beat. So I'm gonna crap it, man.
Yeah, it's a crap.
Yeah.
And the mix again. You gotta get the mix better.
Yeah, it was a little all over the place. I don't know if there was any salvaging for that. I don't know. It's just a little like typical, right?
Yeah, and then like that man that dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun. It's just like just need to be a little more creative in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. We only got a couple more here. Our next submission is by Pit LA. Oh, Pit Lab 309. You guys got some cool names. Oh, this is one of my loops. Something about the sound. We gotta get that fixed.
Yeah, because it's like I can't tell if it's their beat that's distorted.
Yeah. Hey. Pit Lab 309. That was my favorite out of all.
So yeah, definitely my favorite of all.
That was my favorite out of all. I'm still gonna crap it, but I'm not gonna give you the bum bum bum.
Yeah,
because that was my favorite. But again, on the flip side, though, I do think that a rapper can jump on that. I think that's like song ready, but it's just certain elements in there still didn't do it for me. So I'm crapping it, but that was close for me.
Yeah, I think that's the best one.
Yeah, for sure.
We've heard. For
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the programming, like the drums on there. I was fucking with the drums.
With the drums.
I wasn't crazy about the sound selection, like as far as that instrumentation goes, but the programming, I was bopping to that. I had like a nice bop to it, but definitely my favorite so far, but not quite a blap.
Not quite there. Not quite there. All right, damn, it's looking bleak. It's looking Memphis bleak right now. Our last submission is by Helician Fuegos. These guys have some creative
Very
names.
interesting names.
Oh, this better be good, bro.
You can say I told you so.
Please don't butcher it. Let's go.
If I ever leave you, you can say I told you so. If I ever leave you, and if I ever hurt you, baby.
Some boom bap shit.
I told you so. If I ever leave you, and if I ever hurt you, baby. If I ever leave you, say I told you so. If I ever leave you.
All right.
Not bad. It was
boom
just a
bap
pretty
shits.
basic boom bappy.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would have did something with the sample.
That's what I was waiting for.
The drums maybe pick up a little bit more.
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
It had a lot of potential.
It sounded clean.
Potential.
Yeah, it sounded clean, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's a crap.
That's a crap from us. That was like close though for me.
That was
like, I think that's salvageable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the closest. I just think all he has to do is just manipulate the sample a little more. Make just maybe after the first initial like 4 or 8 bars or whatever he's doing, it just kind of kept going.
Facts.
But yeah, man, it was close. That was, out of all of them, that was my favorite one tonight.
Yeah, that was close for sure. But overall, every single beat was a crap.
Yeah.
Every single beat was a crap. Sorry, guys. So listen, if you want to submit to this segment, Blap or Crap, all you have to do is go to beatthread.com, upload your track, and make sure when you upload your beat, you hashtag BLAP or CRAP. And again, BThread is a free website you can join. It's very similar to SoundCloud, where you can just upload your music. There's a player, there's a rating system. You can listen to other users, you can critique other people, you can receive critiques. So it's a really cool website. Go to beatthread.com and check that out. Man, that's it, man.
That's it.
Man.
So next show will be in the 80 officially.
Next
80.
show will be episode 80.
80.
We have a lot of really special things planned for you guys in the near future. And again, shout out to all of our listeners, our subscribers. Right. Yo, guys, 80 episodes is a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but like compared to other people in podcasts, but like, I don't know, 80 is pretty impressive.
Pretty up
in my
there.
opinion.
I think so too. Solid episodes too.
Yeah. There's a lot of information. And guys, like, if you're just tuning into the podcast and you just got hip to it recently, all I ask from you and what I recommend is go back and listen to our older episodes. There's so much, there's so many gems in there. A lot of stuff we talk about. And again, you know, the basis of our podcast is like music creators, music producers, like just everything and anything that has to do with that. And we try to empower you guys to, you know, be the best that you can and make sure you keep doing this for the right reasons. So shout out to all the music creators out there. We'll see you next show next week.